All right, everybody, this is the slinging preacher. Today we're gonna sling some brisket on the smoker. Uh, Besides shooting slingshots and hunting and fishing and shooting bows and whatnot, one of my next favorite things to do is to barbecue, cook smoked meats or whatever. And occasionally I have folks ask me how I do my brisket and whatnot. And I had I'm cooking two briskets and two pork loins today and tomorrow for an event at one of our local hospitals. And so I thought I'd show y'all how I do my brisket and put it on there. And if anybody wants to use it, they can use it. If not, well, I'm sure there's better ways, and I'm sure I'm supposed to show y'all something that you don't agree with in the barbecue world or whatnot, but this is the way I do it, and it seems to work. So here we go. I got a 15-pound brisket. Uh, Brisket comes in there's two muscles in a brisket, and I know y'all can't see my face, but you couldn't see the brisket if maybe I can ease it up a little bit. Let's see. All right. There we go, a little bit better. So brisket has two muscles. It's got the point and the flat, okay? But you got a fat side and you got a lean side. So the first thing I like to do is trim the fat off as much as I can. Now, there's two things you can do with the fat um, that I do. One is I keep the fat and put it in the freezer and use it during the winter when I grind up deer meat. I'll use that as my fat in my deer meat and make hamburgers. The other thing I like to do is render it down and make beef tallow because I like to cook with beef tallow a good bit. So that's what we're going to do today is make some beef tallow. So show you how I do that along the way. Got a Dutch oven right here. I'm going to put my fat trimmings in it. So if you see me putting it in that pot, that's what I'm doing. And let's get started. This one's pretty fatty. So what I usually like to do is to find how deep the fat is. So I kind of go over here on the end and just start cutting down until I can see the meat through there. Because you want about a 1/4 inch exposed. See, I suppose a little bit of the meat right there, and that's not the end of the world, but you don't want to expose all the meat on the flat because the flat doesn't have any. It's very lean. It doesn't have a lot of fat in it. So I'm gonna just kind of knock the top off this. And also, when you're trimming a brisket, it's a lot easier to trim it if it's cold. It's cold, but it ain't as cold as I like it. I usually like them really cold because that fat trims a whole lot better. It doesn't bend under your knife. And it also helps to have a very, very sharp knife. All right. So I'm just whittling away at this fat. Sometimes if you pick it up like that and kind of just let some of it prop up, it's a lot easier to cut through. Be careful, don't cut yourself. And I'm sure I'm not following some type of safety rule, but that's okay too. I still got all my fingers and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, brisket is one of my favorite things to cook, but it is getting very expensive. Both of these two briskets was about $220, and that's crazy. It used to be a throwaway piece of meat, and now I guess that's all those barbecue shows and whatnot. It has just jumped through the roof. But anyway, I'll keep on doing this, and I don't do a whole lot of trimming. I say that you'll see a lot of fat come off here, but compared to a lot of people, I'm cooking this to eat. I'm not cooking this for competition. So we'll square that off a little bit. And that's another thing. You want to make it to where the smoke, I put this toward the hot end of my smoker, the point. And you want it aerodynamic where that smoke will just go right over it. You don't want anything sticking up. If you have anything sticking up, it's going to just burn out and be dry and not be fit to eat. So let's keep trimming. Up here on this point, there'll be a lot more fat. You can get a little more aggressive Because it's a lot, it's marbled real well. And I like to expose a little bit of that so I can get some good bark. I don't know if you can see it. The light's not too good, but there's marbling right in there. See all the fat in the point? It's a lot fattier piece of meat. To me, it's the best because fat equals flavor. I do like the point. See that? Just the flappy stuff right there. I just square that off. It ain't that good. Just there we go. All right, you can see most of my point is exposed right there. You can see the marbling in it. If you're gonna make burnt ends, you make it burnt ends out of your point. It's got all the fat in it. Let's remove a little bit more of this fat on the flat down here. All right, now this side's almost done, and I know if I was in competition, man, I'd go through here and have it just immaculate, but I'm not in competition. Cooking it to eat. So what I like to do also on my flat, the fat side of my flat, is I'll come through and score it just a little, just through the fat. And the reason I do that is just to get those seasonings down in there in a little bit, down in there close to the meat. I've always done that. It's always worked out for me. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Now I'm going to flip it over to the non-fat side, and there's always some fat over there. And the main piece of fat over there, I don't like using a dirty hand on the knife, so bear with me. What becomes apparent right when you flip that thing over is this big honking piece of fat right here. All right, that's called the deckle. And what I usually do on that is I start, and this is a piece of fat that goes all the way between the point and the flat. It goes all the way through the brisket. And I'll just roll that back to where, take that big hunk of, it's just a big piece of fat. And I'm actually going to cut that up into chunks a little bit so that it will render down in my beef tallow here in a minute when I get it put on. And all I do, now you can go through there and trim all that if you want to, but if you ever seen those people, they'll pull a brisket out and it's jiggling and they'll throw it on the ground on the table and they'll cut through the middle of it and they'll push that juice and you see all the juices run out of it. That's that fat. That's the fat between the point and the flat. It's a little trick they do. I'm sure that their stuff may be juicy and good. It's just a big wad of fat in the middle between those two muscles. Now see, this is meat, but I'm gonna tell you, it looks good and you're thinking, man, that costs a lot of money. Why are you gonna trim that off? It's gonna burn up anyway. That smoke's gonna come over and that little 2-inch piece of meat is gonna fry. It's just gonna, so what I've done now is that smoke will come right over. And I'll do something with that later. And so anyway, it's not very much fat on this side. I do come through here and just kind of knock the heavy off of it, but not. I don't get super crazy. Because like I say, fat's flavor. There's a piece down there we need to get. I didn't get on the other side. But that's pretty much it. I don't trim a lot. I do leave a little bit of fat on mine because, like I say, I like to eat it. All right. So now seasoning. Y'all please wash your hands before you touch the seasoning bottles and stuff. At least keep one clean hand while you're doing it. All right. So what I season mine with is salt. Go ahead and get it open. Pepper. Garlic powder or granulated garlic. A little bit of Tony's. And this is Rebel Butcher Rub. It's just in a Tupperware container. But if you Google Rebel Butcher Supply, it's a little butcher shop or butcher supply shop in Flowood, Mississippi. They have all kind of spices. They supply a lot of your meat markets and whatnot with stuff. You can get online and order this in like 1 pound bags, 2 pound jugs, or 25-pound bags. And I usually do the 25-pound bag. I do a lot of fundraisers and a lot of cookings like this. So I just go in there and get me a little Tupperware container full of them out of my bag, out of the freezer, and go from there. But really good on a lot of stuff. Really good on chicken. Really good on pork and brisket. So let me show you what I do. Get that one open. So I take a little bit of oil. This is just regular. I think it's either vegetable or canola oil, and I pour it right along the top of that, and get it good and rubbed in and moist. And the reason I do that is your spices are dry, right? So this helps it bind to the meat, but it also helps rehydrate your stuff. All right, so this is a big piece of meat. You're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of salt. This is a big piece of meat. 15 pounds of meat here. I salt it good. Come through with pepper, and always don't get down low. You'll just have big splotches of seasoning. Get up here where it'll float down on it. Salt and pepper go with beef, just like Forrest Gump says, with peas and carrots. It is good stuff. And don't forget your ends. How to get your ends. I got a little salt on that one, but make sure you get your ends. All right. Garlic. You can see it as it coats the meat. You know where you've been. Get those ends. All right. Now this, we put green can in almost everything. Tony's, Cajun seasoning. Depends on how hot you want your brisket. I'm cooking this for somebody else, so I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm just going to sprinkle just up and down a little bit. All right. And then I always finish it with my Rebel Butcher's Rub. And I put a good coat of Rebel Butcher's Rub on here. This makes great bark. Anywhere I got fat shining through on me, I make sure I cover it good. About 10 to 15 hours, this is going to look a little different. I'm going to make sure I get my ends. All right. So then I take my dirty hand and just, you hear rub all the time. I don't want to rub the seasoning off. I just want to pat it in there and let it reconstitute. Now that's stuck pretty good, so I'm all right with flipping it over and doing the other side. So let's do that. All right, fat side. And so I get back on the season. All right. Again, oil is my binder. Vegetable canola oil, olive oil, whatever. A lot of people use mustard. That's fine. I do mustard. I use mustard on my pork butt and my ribs. But I like oil on my brisket. To me, it just gives it a better bark. All right. So back again, same thing, same rotation. Salt. Make sure we get them edges. This was that edge that was on the other side while ago, so got to get it. Salt, pepper. A lot of folks use coarse pepper. That's fine, This is what sometimes I use coarse. I just whatever I got, that's what I use. Just because those guys on TV say you have to do it doesn't mean you have to do it, by the way. So you can get good products different ways. All right. Garlic. Tony's. All right. And then Rebel Butcher Rub. All right. Pretty. So that's all. That's all I do. That's all I do for seasoning. It's ready for the smoker, and I'm gonna put it on a 225-degree smoker. And you're going, how long? That's a 15-pound piece of meat. I can't tell you how long. I can tell you what temperature I'm gonna take it to. I'm gonna take it to about 200, 205 internal temperature. People ask me all the time, how long you cook your brisket? And I tell them till it's done. I mean, this thing may be done in 7 or 8 hours. It may be done in 15. Sometimes it'll go through a stall. Sometimes it doesn't. Each piece of meat's different. Don't go by time. If the recipe tells you cook a brisket for, 1 hour or 1.5 hours for 1 pound of meat and all that, that's maybe a good go by. Trust the thermometer. Don't go by time. Trust the thermometer. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get the other one ready and get out there and get my smoker going, and I'll meet you out there in just a few minutes. All right, guys. So I got both the briskets on the smoker. Got the point toward the heat, and if you look at my smoker, see if I can get it back. So the firebox is on this side, and the smokestacks are on this side. There's a baffle in there. The heat goes down and back across the meat, and then back out it's a reverse flow smoker. So anyway, I got the point toward the heat. Got them all rehydrated. Looks good. In the back corner, right there, I got a pan of water, stainless steel pan of water. So we're gonna shut these down. And I got some pecan and some oak. I usually have a lot more pecan than that and hickory, but if y'all seen any of my other videos, I've been down for a long time and haven't been able to get a lot of wood. This is actually one of my oak bow staves that I've had 5 or 6 years, been drying, and I cut it up today. It's one. It wasn't a great stave. I got some more in there. I got some better hickory and osage. But anyway, repurpose that. That's gonna be smoking wood today, and we're fixing to put a piece of put a piece of that pecan in the firebox here. I don't know if you can see that. Got some good coals going. So we're gonna put a piece of pecan and a piece of oak. So shut that down, and we will let her go. And you notice the smoke out of the stack? Good, because that's clean smoke. You don't want dirty smoke. When you see white smoke coming out of a smoker, that is usually not real good, especially dark gray or black smoke. But you want good, clean smoke. So it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. We will give her a check here in a little bit and see how it goes. I will not open that. I will not open that lid to look for at least an hour. A lot of people use a mop and mop their briskets. I use that pan of water. I've never had a trouble with mine being moist. So anyway, we'll let you know how it goes along the way. Might even break out a slingshot in a little bit and take a few shots when we're out here waiting. But we'll see. Thank y'all. All right, guys. So I got the smoker going, and this is 2 briskets worth of trimmings that I got in this Dutch oven. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn that dude on a little past low and put the lid on it and let it go the whole time that these briskets are cooking. So we're gonna render it down, then we're gonna strain it, and that's some of the best cooking oil. If you got a griddle, it's the best that you can season stuff with it. It's gonna be good, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end. So just gonna put it on a little past low and forget about it. All right, it's been about 4 hours. The temps come down to about a little less than 200. I've had it at 225 pretty much the whole time, and we are sitting at about 154 degrees. So meat will stop taking smoke at 160 degrees. So what I'm probably going to do, since way back off in there it's starting to thunder, there's a rain storm coming, but take a look at that. That one. That one. What I'm going to do is move on to my next step of the process, which is I'm going to put them in a pan. And hold on just a second. I'm going to put them in a pan, and I'll put them fat side up to begin with to cook. That's a big debate in the barbecue world. I put mine fat side up. When I put it in the pan, I'm going to put them fat side down, and then I'm going to put them in the oven at 325 until they reach 200 to 205 internal temperature. The reason I do that is if I'm not in a competition, I'm cooking it to eat, I'm wasting wood after 160 degrees, because all I'm doing is just trying to get it to 200. It's not going to take any more smoke. So fixing to go get the pans, get them set up, and I'll show you that as I put them in the oven. Stay tuned. All right, so I got them in the pan, fat side down. I had them fat side up on the smoker. You can tell that some of the, as the fat renders, it washes a little bit of the seasoning off the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, before I put them in the oven, is I'm going to take some more of this Rebel Butcher Rub and sprinkle over the spots where it's kind of bare on the bottom here. And that'll create the bark for the bottom. A lot of people say that's why they put fat side down on the smoker. But my deal is I'd rather have that good fat rendering dripping down the meat than just dripping straight off in the bottom of my smoker. All right. So what we're going to do now is gonna put some tin foil over it. Sorry about the noise, tin foil's loud. And I'm gonna put this one on the bottom rack above it. All right. Now on this one, I'm gonna put my probe in. The biggest part of the brisket. All right. Get some more foil. Tell you what, I'm gonna move it to this side so that it'll be closer to the door. All right. So then wrap it up. Monitor over here. Put it on the top rack. Now we'll just wait till they hit about 200 degrees, 205, and we'll see how long that should be. This one, the monitor will actually send me a reading to my remote over there, so I can watch it. I don't have to come check at the oven all the time. Now let's take a look at this over here. Remember the I'll get it right in a minute. The beef tallow. Here we go. Just rendering on down. Let me move some of this aside and hopefully you can see that down in there. Just rendering on down. So we'll let it keep going. And I will see y'all when it hits 200 degrees. All right. We have reached, if we can see that good enough, the light's terrible in here, it's getting late. We reached 200 degrees internal temp. So I'm going to cut this off and unattach it. And get my mitts on. And we're going to pull it out and see what we got. All right. I know the probe's in the top one, and I know it's at 200, and I know the bottom one is because I just checked it just a little bit ago, and I know it's ready. But I knew it could stay in there just a little longer. So, put this up here. Goodness. There we go. All right, getting on the bottom one out, and this a little bit more difficult for me. We're going. All right, here we go. All right. Now let's cut that off. So what I like to do now is I take the tinfoil out, just like be very, very careful, because the steam coming up will burn you. See it? Be careful. So there it is. We're going to let the steam get out of it just a little bit. Same with this one, same deal. Watch for the steam. It will get you. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to cover them back up in just a minute and let them rest for a while. I will not slice them until they've at least rested, probably at least an hour usually. So anyway, that's hot. Let's take a look, a little closer look. So notice how small they are than what we started. Look at, see the juices coming. See, that meat is tight right now, tight, 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 and it's been working. So when it rests, right now it's squeezing, it's working. When you rest it, it opens back up and allows those juices kind of come back in. But anyway, let them rest for at least an hour, if not more. And I'm probably gonna go more. It's 7:30, and I put these on at 1:30. So this is, sometimes they get done fast, and sometimes they don't. But anyway, I'm gonna cover them back up, and I'm gonna leave one corner turned up so that the steam can get out. And I'm gonna let them rest. And then I'll probably put them in a cooler, and I will slice them tomorrow, and I'll bring y'all in on that. Now, let's get back to our beef tallow. Take you over here, let's take a look. See, look at all that goodness rendering out. And I'll show you how we're gonna can or bottle this in just a little bit. So stick around, and here in a little bit we'll strain our beef tallow, put it in a jar. Going to let these rest for a little while, put them in a cooler, and I will slice them up tomorrow. We'll get ready to take them and deliver them and whatnot. So stick around, see when we drain the beef tallow and get it ready. All right, so we started the beef tallow at about 1:30, 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's 10 minutes to 10 now at night. You could probably cook it longer, but I'm sleepy and ready to go to bed. You could put it in a crock pot and it would work probably better. Cook it overnight most afternoon and the next day. But here's what we got. Bring it where you can see. See, it's rendered down a good bit. Still could render a lot of it more now, but I'm gonna stop it right there. And what I do, and this, wear an apron or something, because this is just pure grease, pure oil. I take it, Just squeeze it out, put it in a bowl. Dogs love this. If you got some dogs outside, they'll love it. Squeeze it all out. Now, got some smaller pieces in there, and I'm going to use a big straining spoon to do that. Running out of room. I'm going to try to get this as clean as you can. We're going to run it through a sieve too. Make sure we just get the straight tallow and get all the little bits of fat out of there. Alright, the rest of it I think we go through the sieve. I'm going to set these out of the way. Got my sieve handle in there, and rinse it off. Set this out of the way. A lot more in there that could be rendered, but like I say, I'm tired. Alright, so get a ladle. And I'm going to start ladling it through this sieve into this pint jar. I'll just do one. And then I see a little trick I do at the end. It gets whatever's left out of there. it's almost full. I'm gonna show you a trick. So, see, even though I strained it, it's still kind of cloudy and got some stuff at the bottom or whatever. So, gonna run a little bit of water in it. Cause guess what? Water and oil don't mix, right? Put the top on it. Gonna shake it really good. I'm gonna set it upside down. When it cools off, I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and the particles that's left in it, from the water and all the bit at the bottom, or where the lid is, in the morning I should be able to just pour it off. So we'll see. I'm gonna finish up this other pint, and maybe it might fill up about half of it. It looks like what's left in my Dutch oven, but hopefully we'll have a good jar of beef tallow in the morning. So, got finished cooking the brisket yesterday. Rainstorm came through, and I wasn't able to shoot my slingshot. Today, I am cooking 2 pork loins on the smoker. Y'all are actually sitting on the smoker right now. I'll turn y'all around in a minute and let you look at it. But I didn't get to shoot my slingshot yesterday, so I'm going to shoot it a little bit today. And the slingshot I've been carrying a lot lately is the Wasp Tomahawk. And a couple of weeks ago, I ordered the thumb screws to go in it, and those things are nice. I like them. And like I say, y'all watched any of my other videos, I'm not a 90 millimeter guy, but I can actually shoot this one pretty good. Now I say that, and I'm probably gonna miss every shot I shoot today. But I don't know if y'all can see it. Had to dig up my whole back patio or half of it. So I ain't gonna tell you why. The guy that built the house did something that you shouldn't do, and I had to tear out the backside of my patio. He built it in '91, and in order for me to to reach something, I had to tear up part of my patio. But anyway, that's what all this dirt is out here, and I still got a few targets up and around. Still got that piece of can up in the tree down there, and got a plastic thing down there. But we're gonna shoot a little bit while I'm waiting on these pork loins. They're about 101 degree internal, and I'm gonna take them to about 140, 144. Pork loin, by the way, you can be a hero or a zero. If you take the pork loin over 140, 145 degrees, you're a zero. That it'll be too dry to eat. And you think, well, it ain't done just looking at it. Trust your thermometer. I cannot stress enough. Trust the thermometer. Just 140, 145. Get that sucker off there and let it start resting. But anyway, let's shoot a little bit. There's one of my plastic bowls for my 4/8 targets is down there. If that big white dog would get out of the way. There we go. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but they they will not stand up under this clay. And now, by the way, I got as always simple shot .5 latex. Got a simple shot pit pouch, small 3/8 uh, clay ball, Walmart clay. So and Wasp Tomahawk with a wrap. All right, I'm gonna press my luck and see if I can get that can in the tree. Grazed it. Probably didn't hear it. We're gonna try to get a good smack. Try to get a good smack on it. Got it. I don't know if y'all heard it or not, but there's a ain't nothing better than shooting a slingshot while you're waiting on the smoker and you smoke meat to get ready. Bad miss right there. That's a long shot, but we're gonna try it again. It's a little plastic disc down there. Caught a piece of it. I don't know if y'all heard it or not, but anyway, 2 of my favorite things: barbecuing and shooting slingshot. Could do it all day. But I'm going to tell you what, here in Mississippi, the heat indexes is already reaching between 100 and 110 every day. And June's almost over. July and August is going to be terrible. It'll be so humid you'll have to come out and cut the air out and eat it. But hey, that's where we live. It's a myth. That's where we live, and I chose to stay here. I went to college in Northeast Tennessee. Loved it. I think I ran my air conditioner like 2 weeks out of the year. Everybody was like, "Man, it's hot. It's humid. Come with me. I will show you where hot and humid was invented." And that is a lot of places, but most assuredly, Southwest Mississippi. I want to press my luck. I got y'all. My yard looks like a junkyard or a crazy person's yard. When you drive up, I got skillets hanging in trees, pots in trees, cowbells from my 4-H guys, and I'm on. It's about, I don't know, 35 yards down there is a skillet, and I doubt y'all will be able to hear it if I hit it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, if I miss, I miss. But we'll see if I can get it. Miss about a half a foot to the right. Try again. I hope y'all heard that. It was way down there. I got it. But anyway, really enjoy shooting with those little guys. We're gonna have our county tournament coming up in a few weeks, and I'll record that and let y'all see that. But anyway, we've climbed 5 degrees since I've been out here. It's 104. I'm fixing to go in and slice those briskets I cooked yesterday, and I'll put that on film and finish it up. But let's see if we can get that can one more time, and then I'll call it quits on my shooting for a few minutes. Got it. All right, guys. Just gonna skip over and go in there and slice up some brisket, and I'll show that to you here in just a little bit. All right, guys. So it's the next day. After I cook my briskets, I let them rest, whatever, put them in the cooler, and now we're gonna slice them. I'm gonna try to raise this up a little bit more. So if you don't want to mess your clothes up, don't uh, don't wear good clothes. All right. So I don't slice my brisket like everybody else does. You see them throw them down and cut it all the way across and whatnot. I slice mine to eat. And first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna separate the two muscles. All right. So like I say, it's nasty. I find that seam. There's the fat seam. You'll see it between the point and the flat. So I get it, and I use, this is a little rata, however you say it, RADA knife. Bought it off of a fundraiser from a youth group one time, and it's one of the best slicing knives that I've ever seen. It's really good. If you'll follow that fat seam, you'll see that these two muscles will separate. Not hard at all. Make sure you don't drop it and make a big splash and get everything all nasty. Or make sure you don't cut the bottom of your pan. So see how those just come apart? So here's your flat and here's your point. Okay? So I always slice the point first. I'm sorry, the flat first. So let me slide this out of the way. Get my flat. Drain some of the juice off of it so it don't go all over the counter. I put some tinfoil down to kind of catch anything that drops there. But let me wash my hands. I do that a lot during this process because it gets nasty. Let me wash my knife handle off a little bit. I always try to keep at least one clean hand and one quote dirty hand that touches the meat or whatever. All right. So if you look at the flat, it becomes apparent the direction of the grain. And I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but there's lines. You can see how the grain runs. It doesn't run straight across. It's at an angle. So what I do is I look at it, and in my mind, I'm thinking 3 or 4 inch slices wide. You think about a slotted plate, you got a big old long piece of meat, it's going to hang off the plate. So I do it about 3 to 4 inches wide. So the first thing I do is I square off I cut this with the grain. I square it off, just kind of set that out of the way. Then I come over about 3 or 4 inches. And again, I'm doing this with the grain. All right. And then again, about 3 or 4 inches with the grain. Set those aside. Now, to make the individual slices, I go against the grain to make your eating slices. And I start out, and it's always going to be some small pieces right here when you first start. Little bitty chunks. I'll put those in there. I call those my little appetizers. And just start about 1/4 inch slices. And I'll just do this first one, and then I'll do the rest of them, and then we'll go to the point. Let me pull a piece out and show you. See? Watch this. See the bark? Got good bark on it. Watch. Nothing to it, right? All right, let's keep going. And even it looks like I'm sawing, and it looks like it's tough, but it's not. I'm just doing a lot of back and forth so I can slice it good and it don't pull apart. You'll see once I get through that bark, it's just nothing to it. All right, finishing down here at the end. Then I'll show you how once I do that, I come up to the first full-size piece, get them like that, set them right back in the juice. Now they're ready to be served or whatever. So I'm going to do the rest of those, get back with y'all when I start on the point. All right, so I got the flat all sliced up, got it ready to go, and now I got the point. And the point, the grain is running this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to square that off and then probably cut that into 2 slices, and then I'll start, or 2 pieces, and then I'll start slicing each one this way. So I don't know if y'all saw that or not. So the grain's running this way. I'm going to square it off and then cut this into 2 pieces and then cut it into slices. So let me set you back up and we will get started. All right. So I'm going to square this, take this little bit off. I'll just make little, what I call little appetizer pieces out of that here in just a minute. I'll set those in there. All right, and then I'm going to cut it right with the grain into 2 pieces. Okay, so now I'm going to set this out of the way. And now I'm going to cut it against the grain for slices. Now it's got a pretty good piece of fat on the bottom of this one, so I'm gonna take a little bit of the fat off right here. All right. See, nobody wants that, so we're gonna set that over there. All right. So now, about a quarter or so, maybe a little over a quarter thick. And I'm gonna show you. I remember when I was telling you when we were seasoning yesterday when I was cooking, the point has a lot more fat in it. It's the fattier side, and the grain in the point actually runs pretty much perpendicular to the grain in the flat. So if you slice them together, it don't really, in my opinion, don't really work that well. So let's just pick one out of the middle somewhere. All right. Got a decent little smoke ring on it. You see the marbling in there? See the fatty in there? The fat in there? A lot more flavor. A lot more flavor in that than it is the flat. So again, I'll pick those up, keep them in line as good as I can, and put them on this side. So I'll have the flat on one side and have the point on the other. And that way people can get what they want. If they don't want a fatty piece of meat, they can get some of the flat. If they want a more marbled piece of meat, got more flavor in it, they can get part of the point. So it's their prerogative while they are serving themselves. All right. I'll do the other one, and then this one will be through. And y'all will know every secret I got on how I cook my brisket. So again, let me make sure there's not a big old fat cap down here. A little bit. We're going to take a little bit of that off. Slide that out of the way. All right. And we go slicing again. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm going to show y'all a piece of this. Hold on just a second. You got to see this. My goodness. See the smoke ring? Bark? Watch this. Look at there. Hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Good stuff. And this piece right here, by the way, is if you're going to do burnt ends, this is the piece you would use. So, if y'all would like to see a video on burnt ends one day, leave me a comment, and I'm sure my family would be appreciative of you doing that. They love to eat them. All right, almost done. And then the end piece. All right, and I'll take that, hold it together, set it right down in there, just like it was sliced. Rinse my hands, and I will show you the final product. All right, that is how I do brisket. So, having trouble getting that back on there. All right. So thank y'all for watching. I know brisket is a pretty expensive piece of meat, but hey, you got to learn. I mean, get out there and give it a try. I mean, it's easy to do. You just have to have patience. Appreciate y'all watching. Slinging Preacher signing off. All right, so last night y'all saw me get the beef tallow out, and I strained it and put it in this pint jar. Put a little water in it, shook it up. I put it, once it got back to room temperature, I put it in the refrigerator, and you see what we got. Water and oil don't mix. So the water is down in the bottom with all the impurities or anything else that may have been floating around in the oil. And all we got to do is take the lid out, take a spoon. It's going to kind of be like a little jelly, nasty mess. But anyway, we'll separate that from the tallow, and we'll be good to go. Let me show you. All that's just the water congealed in with the impurities that was in there. And I go down a little bit into the tallow to make sure I get everything. Now, now we got a pint or almost a full pint of beef tallow. Got a little bit of that stuff left at the top, but I'll get that out of the way. And you can use that for anytime you're frying. If you're cooking a steak, instead of putting oil in there, put your spoonful of this. Um, you can actually make candles with this, beef tallow candles. You can look up how to do all that. I had never done that. I just use it for cooking. Anywhere, this is a natural oil, a lot better for you than anything you buy at the store. So anyway, that's how you do it. Cooking brisket, melt your sun down, and you're good to go. Thank y'all for watching. My big boy smoker said, "Let it rain." Ain't slowing me down any. Got those pork loins off just in time before this hit.